Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social, episode 4. Now, this was meant to be a very, very special episode, but unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, we cannot have HLTCO on today's show, aka Dan. Great shame. However, we are, of course, joined by my two lovely co-hosts. Start with Ryan. How are you, mate? How's your weekend?
All good, mate. What about you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. I mean, the result could have been a bit better, but it was one of those.
Yeah, it was one of them, wasn't it?
Half and half. And to be honest with you, I didn't really do much. So, yeah, not really much to report on that front. What about you, Ben? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I've been ill like the whole week since like Wednesday. Feeling a bit better now.
Yeah.
Went to the barber shop for the first time in my life on Saturday.
It's not COVID, is it? By the way,
no.
Just not.
I had cotton swabs up my nose this weekend, but not for COVID.
Yeah.
It was a Turkish barber's, and he was pulling out my nostril.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a mad experience. Give me a little shape up as well.
You're very blasé about that. So wait, hold on. Can we just rewind as well? So, did you say it was your first ever visit to a barbershop?
Yes. So my mum is a hairdresser, and yeah.
Okay, that explains.
First time I've ever stepped foot in a barbershop was mental. Yeah. What about you, Ryan? You like to hairdresser?
Literally same. I've never been to a barber's in my life.
Oh right.
That's actually. This is mind-blowing stuff. I'm not actually, I can't comprehend and fathom this. So hold on. Okay, wait. Let's just get this clear. So Ben, how old are you?
24.
And Ryan, how old are you?
I'm 19.
You've never stepped in a barbershop before?
No, never. I've actually never been in one at all.
That's actually.
I don't even know what you say, how it works. I don't know.
No, I had to get my friend Brett to come with me because I was like, mate, you need to show me the ropes. Like, wait for the certain barber, because apparently one barber's better at doing short hair and one barber's better at doing the other stuff. And yeah, it was mad. They had this lemon spray after the fade's done. They put the lemon spray on it, and you just get this tingly sensation on your neck. It's nuts. It's crazy.
Oh my god, this is incredible, Ryan. Right, okay, Ryan, we've got to make a pact, yeah. Next, so when you go for your first visit, you got to let us film it or make like some kind of short video about your experience.
Definitely, yes,
we have to document it.
Okay, definitely.
All right, deal. All right, anyway, enough barber talk. We're going to get into it. So, yeah, like I said, unfortunately, we don't have our special Crystal Palace guest on. However, we will be taking you through everything that happened in the game. So, just to kick us off then, of course, the big talking point was, of course, the penalty that was given to Crystal Palace. Now, I think we all agreed, especially on Twitter and like at the time, we weren't happy, were we, boys? We weren't happy with it being given. So let's start with you, Ryan. What were your thoughts on the penalty itself?
Okay, I'll try and be as a neutral, so I won't be too biased. But
yeah,
I can see the ref pointing to the spot. I can see why, because he had his arm around his shoulder. But I cannot see why VAR didn't overturn it, because it's literally 10 minutes before. Sorry, Matt. Just literally 10 minutes before that. Was it Byrne? Was literally being wrestled by whoever was on him. And he was wrestling. Yeah, and nothing given, completely overlooked. Lamptey has his arm on his shoulder for no more than a second. And his point, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get how.
I think the point you made about like, so for me, I agree with exactly everything you said in the fact that I think basically he's given the referee a decision to make. So the fact that he's got his hands on him, he's given the referee an excuse to make a decision. So the fact that, he should have just not been, all have his hands around him. But in saying that, Batshuayi's gone down way too easy. He's just sort of flung himself to the floor. He's done that. I think I tweeted about it at the time. He's done like the David Luiz, when David Luiz was on the floor, like smiling. For Chelsea. Yeah, he's done one of the, like, he knows he's gone down soft, I think.
If Dan Byrne went down like a big lump, like when Kouyate was holding him, like would the ref just give that a penalty then because he's made contact?
Probably.
That's the thing.
Probably.
Like this is like the Lamela Martial thing again, isn't it? Yeah. So Lamela dived because he got hit in the head, or hit in the face. Martial got hit in the face, and Martial stood on his feet, and he was the one that got sent off.
So this is a question I've got for you, Ryan, because you mentioned VAR and why I didn't overturn it. This is what I've been baffled by this, for a good couple of months now. So why do decisions not? Well, obviously they get reviewed apparently, but like with obvious, because we've had a lot of sort of VAR controversy and decisions and stuff. Why are they not? So, for example, the big one, of course, was Pickford on Van Dijk, and we'll probably get onto that in a little bit. But why are the referees not overturning those decisions? So, like you said, why has he not gone to VAR and said, "Look, Lamptey didn't really touch him"?
Isn't it? They
know.
say it's like it's
I
a clear
don't
and
know.
obvious error. That's what the referee has to make, a clear and obvious
Yeah.
error.
Yeah.
But that was
the
in
rule,
our
wasn't
opinion,
it?
that's
And
obviously an error.
Now that I agree with then. So yeah, in my eyes, to be fair, that's not a clear and obvious. That's very subjective, that penalty, because like we've discussed, he's had his hands on him. So like I said, he's given the referee an excuse to make a decision. So with that one, I sort of do get it. It's not clear. It's not a clear cut one. You know, we've got to be sort of not biased there. But yeah, for example, you know, the Pickford one, that was as clear as day. Like he's absolutely speared him like in the legs. I just don't get it.
Yeah, like even if it was offside, surely that's the foul anyway. Like the play happened on the pitch, didn't it? So that's what I don't like. Even if like let's say Jordan Pickford poached Firmino, even though Firmino was offside during play, like he's offside, but Jesus Christ, like it happened on the pitch. That's what I.
But that's the thing as well. Like, so
that.
referees send off players off the, you know, when the final whistle's been blown, or when they're off the pitch.
Happened to us at Man United. We've had the full-time whistle blown, and all of a sudden they've opened the game back up again. So why? How? I don't know. I just don't. The thing is, I don't understand the rules of football anymore, and it's just so.
There are too many.
If the players don't even understand the rules anymore. Yeah. So
no, it's true.
I don't want to just be on here moaning about the refs and the VARs and all that, because that's all it's going to ever be every week anyway.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I tweeted about it the other day, but I'm this close, as close as Mane was to being offside, to giving up on football. I'm literally that close to giving up on it.
We'll have to look for a new host again.
So yeah.
Send your application to seagullsocial@gmail.com if you're interested, guys.
All right, so it's fair to say then, just to wrap up the whole penalty issue then, it's fair to say that we all agree that it was very soft, but he's given him a reason to.
If it happened to Neil Maupay and Neil Maupay went down, you'd say, yeah, it was soft, but it was a penalty. Yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, you seem very sure.
I'll say, like, I don't know, because I don't think it's a pen, because it's not a foul. I wouldn't say it's a foul. Because
I agree with you. I do.
He's put his arms around him, but I mean, he hasn't. He's put his arm on his shoulder, like literally that, and then he's sort of brushed him. It's not a foul. He's not enough to bring a full-grown 6 foot plus striker down. Who's
Dems the rules, Ryan. Dems the rules, mate.
Listen, I'm with you on that 100%. In my eyes, it was never a penalty. But then, if we talk about the whole clear and obvious issue, I think that's where it comes in from a VAR point of view. But it is what it is. So the next thing that we wanted to discuss, of course, was so Potter made a bit of a change with in terms of his personnel. So he put Ben White in DM alongside Basuma. Or Basuma plays centre mid, sort of DM-ish kind of thing. But he played him alongside, and he played incredible. Well, I thought he was class. So I know, Ryan, you tweeted about how good he was, and he obviously got man of the match as well. Well, first of all, I've got sort of two questions. Firstly, do you want to see him carry on playing in DM? And secondly, do you think he suits that role better than he does at centre back?
Well, I'd say for the second question, I think he started pretty rocky, didn't he? I think it didn't help that he's had all this pressure on him. He's been in the media for so long. He's been #FreeBenWhite was trending for about 2 days in the whole of the United Kingdom.
More like 2 weeks. More like.
Even 2 weeks. But so he had a lot of pressure on him. He's only 22, and he's come in. He wasn't quite, what maybe we thought he might have been, but. Putting him into midfield, I think he just looked quite comfortable. But then obviously he didn't have much to do in terms of defending wise. He sort of it was just passing it around midfield. They had one shot. I mean, shouldn't have even been a shot. So he hasn't been tested. But he was fantastic. I thought his passing abilities, his break-up play, just the easy passes he was making was quite reassuring. But then whether I'd like to see that. For the rest of the season, I don't know, because Alzate, Bissouma, Alzate coming back then puts the pressure on there a little bit, and Ben White will be back in that back through with Dunk suspended next week anyway. So whether I'd say I want it, I don't know. We'll see. If he can do it more consistently, and Alzate, he's a very versatile player as well, so he can sort of play wherever he wants. Alzate, and he seems to perform anywhere. So I actually must admit, I didn't think Bissouma was all that. Against Palace, so we'll see. We've got a lot of options in there.
I like the point you made about him being comfortable on the ball. Like that's what I love about him. He's very easy, very easy on the eye.
Very composed.
It reminds me of like I don't know. I don't want to compare him to a player, but the way he grabs, like he goes forward with the ball, and he can sometimes actually beat players. Like, as a centre half, that's pretty nuts. Like the fact that he can do that. But me personally, I want us to stick to Dunkey, White and Webster as a back three, just because I feel like the more they play together, I think the better they'll get.
That combination
and
is
having
amazing.
that foundation, having that foundation for me is key. And then I'd like to see, Alzat Basuma sort of combo in the middle of the park. So I don't get me wrong, I feel for me he could definitely do it. It's whether like I'd like to see him there. I don't probably not. What about you then?
Not more. I would like to see him there consistently, but again, I remember the last episode I mentioned it like 3 times. The amount of depth we have in the centre midfield now is just another one to add to the list. Yeah. But he played well.
Even as well, centre back.
Yeah, but it shows how good he played. Like, he won the Brighton Hove Albion man of the match. Just shows how good he played, really. It could have gone a lot worse. And like you said, they only had 1 shot, so they're obviously doing something right. I don't know if Palace were that bad up top. They threatened us. Obviously, Batshuayi's his offside goal, Jesus Christ, if that went in.
Yeah, it's a great goal.
What a goal that was.
A great not goal.
I don't know. Were Palace that bad up top, or were we that well organised in defence?
I think it was more they were just toothless. Like they had nothing about them going forward.
No, there was never any fear.
Exactly that. Like watching that game, I didn't at one point think so. Up until that 15th minute or whatever it was, until they gave away that penalty, I literally was watching that, going, "We're going to win this 3-0, or we're going to comfortably beat them." We were playing them off the park. It was all us. And then obviously the penalty happened. And then after that, up until the second half, so up until half time, they started getting back into it, and they actually looked not threatening, but they controlled the game more.
Yeah.
And that's apart from that little spell, literally they did all.
We showed great character coming back into the game though, like, because normally I think we would think, oh god, this is not going our way, and we would just have our heads down, and then they'd dominate for the rest of the match. But we showed great character, come back in it, and then go again in the second half.
Brendan Rodgers, calm down.
Character. Yeah, let's get a counter on it. Yeah. No, we did. I was impressed.
It's true.
I was impressed.
No. As much as I joke around, I do agree. It's nice to see us showing a bit more
character,
a bit more about us. Like you said, I don't want to use the word, but a bit of character, and it's positive. But I think that brings me on to the next point I want to make, and I think it's very important now. So we play very good football at times, okay? Majority of the times, I want to say. But we don't put the ball in the back of the net, and we're not getting results. We're not getting wins. So as much as it's great playing great football, if we're not getting the results, what are your guys' thoughts? We'll start with Ben. What are your thoughts on playing attractive football but not getting results, whereas we could argue Palace playing awful football but actually getting a few results?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
It just goes to show, like you said, Palace can play terrible but get results, whereas we can play amazing and not get the results. It's hard to compare against Palace because they were so well organised, and they're such a great defensive team. I'm looking ahead to West Brom. Hopefully, our amazing football will be able to pay off against a team like West Brom. But
don't say that.
Could be fake.
Don't say that. Oh my god! Don't say that, because we're not one of them.
Yeah, no. Hopefully,
West Brom.
Hopefully we can.
Don't do this.
Sorry,
no. Of course,
class,
let's be real. We are better than them. Yes. Let's put it this way: if we want to survive in this league, we have to beat teams like West Brom.
We should be winning. You're right. We should be winning. Yeah, but
let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see.
Yeah, as Ben said, it's frustrating, and I think, do we get to the point where we sort of have to go a little bit anti what Potter's trying to do, and then just try and grind out a result, try and get. I mean, the Neil Mopay chance. There's a couple of them. I mean, there's the obvious one where he should have just smacked it first time. And then there was the other one where he sort of had, I think it was Cahill behind him. I don't know, he was trying to turn and shoot. I don't know how he didn't just get a better shot off. Or I think he had Lamptey on his right as well that had an easy shot. I don't know what Neil was doing. Somehow he got man of the match for Sky
Chances
Sports.
wise, we should have taken our chances as per every single game. But
and it's the same conversations.
Would it be a fair argument to say that we've had a tough start compared to most teams? Like we had Man United, Chelsea, played Newcastle, beat them, Everton obviously flying. And then
Yeah.
and how
And
Palace,
Palace
they're
is
a
a
tough
cup
team as
final,
well.
to be fair.
Yeah, Palace is a tough team
Yeah.
as well.
Well, this is the thing. So with regards, so just going back to just quickly going back to the Mope chance.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you both, and I apologise if I'm being like stupid here, but is he left-footed or right-footed?
That's right.
He's
first.
right-footed.
Okay, so why is he shifting onto his? I don't understand.
No.
I can't
I don't
actually
know
get
what he
words
was
out right
thinking.
now. I can't get my head around it. Why is he shifting it onto his left? Just hit it with your right, man. I don't. If you're left-footed, I get it. You might want to go with your stronger foot and you shift it onto that. But as a right-footed player, as a striker, just whack it in the back
Yeah,
of the
just
net.
you put your foot through it.
I was just. It was just so
It
frustrating.
was one-on-one.
And that's why
It's just such an easy chance. It's a
Yeah.
sort of chance.
I mean, it's
you
easy
take
for us to say
every
that.
game, isn't it?
As non-professionals, it's very easy for us to say that.
Yeah.
Right?
It just looked like
But,
he was trying to do too much with it. Like you said, I think
Yeah.
even if he didn't have a lot of the goal to aim for with his right, I would have rather him hitting it with his right and just aiming for the top right corner.
I was about to say, if he'd hit that first time and he shanked it outside of Selhurst Park, I would have been much happier than what he actually did. Because
Yeah.
for me, I don't know what he was trying to attempt by cutting inside and giving them another chance to get back. It's just, for me, it was a bit weird, but it is what it is. So yeah,
Theme of the theme of the podcast so far.
That's
No,
the
what it
podcast
is.
title. It is what it is. There you go.
No, of course. Yeah. And obviously talking about, not half chances, 'cause that's not really a way to say it, but Aaron Connolly went down on the challenge. I believe it was Kuyate or no? I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been it. It's someone basically.
I think it
but
was him.
I personally don't think it was a foul at all. But I don't know what you guys thought. Was there any contact for you
Well,
guys?
if the Lamptey one's a penalty,
Yeah, that's
then
what I would have
anything's a
said.
penalty. because if that was a penalty, I'm not being funny. Like there was so many. If we're using that logic, there were so many penalties that we should have had. Because there was so many times where they've bundled us. We've had little fights here and there. We've had little sort of drags on the shoulders and little clips at the toes. There was so many of those, but they just get overlooked completely.
I think Aaron Connolly needs to be careful now because that's the second time he's done that. I think obviously against Man United it wasn't given, and now he goes down the same way every time. So he needs to make sure
annoying.
that's not a consistent thing he does and gets known for diving.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's never going to.
No,
win
100%. No, 100%. It's that whole. So unfortunately, Zaha had that tag, didn't he, for a while? Being known as a diver, and then obviously that will influence referees' decisions going forward. So, like you said, we don't want that. We don't want that to be sort of a sticking point for then. If he does get a genuine penalty, it's like the boy cried wolf, isn't it? Like,
exactly.
he's just not gonna. He's not going to get any decisions. So no, I don't see him like that kind of player. I know obviously you mentioned he's done it twice now, but I don't think he's that kind of guy. Hopefully. I'd love
I don't know. He's done it. He's done it a few times now, and he
Has
needs
he?
to cut it out.
Yeah.
you need to cut it out, Aaron. I'll be having words with you.
Stop it. Get some help. No, okay. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but for me personally, never a contact. Wasn't enough in it for me personally. So that was a bit of a non-goer. So just to give you guys listeners, sorry, I'm laughing here because you guys can't see our notes that we've got, and the notes that Ben put down was just simply the ref was a joke. Now,
What about the one above that? That was quite funny.
So just you can kick us off, Ben. You thought the ref didn't have a good performance. Why did you not think he had a good time?
There might have just been everyone else in the pub persuading my judgment, but everyone else said he was a joke. I don't know. I guess it was just the mix between the VAR not interfering, and I guess apparently that was Kevin Friend again in the VAR studios. So it's
all done in Stockley Park.
Not
so
our
it's not
biggest
actually
fan
down
apparently.
to the ref.
Kevin Friend shafted us, who's the VAR guy, and the referee giving the Lamptey one in the first place. That was just a piss take. The note above it, Dunk, what the fuck was he thinking? Ryan?
Yeah.
Do you know what he was thinking?
We'll get onto that.
Well, I don't know. He was trying to get the ball, wasn't he? He was trying to get some sort of rebound. So I think he was thinking if he jumps at it, if he clears it and it hits him in the leg and it's going to then bounce into the bottom corner, maybe it's the only justifiable
It
reason.
looked like pure desperation, didn't it? It was pure desperation.
It was just stupid. It was really stupid. It was reckless, and it was a red card any day of the week. And now he misses 3 games.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
100%. Yeah, I think first of all, no excuses at all. It was a shocking challenge. Like you don't want to be, as a football fan, like if that happened to one of our players, we'd be disgusted. We'd be going mad. Like we'd be kicking off. So I think you got to think about it that way as well. What he did, it's just it baffles me though because I love Dunkey. I love Dunkey to bits because he's a great player. But for me, sometimes he has got that little bit of sort of just like what the fuck is going on? Like what the
he's
fuck
always had that. He sort of has he has a rush to the head, doesn't he? And he does a stupid challenge, and he hasn't done that for a while. He hasn't done that for a good couple of years, and he sort of brought it back yesterday. And I was like, that's the old Lewis Dunk coming out. Yeah. That's the Lewis Dunk of 2015 to 17 that sort of just did stupid things.
Reckless Dunkey.
Own goals and being
own goals and red cards.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I think he's matured so much in the last couple of years. Obviously, he's getting he's 29 now, 28, 29. Obviously, he's getting to that stage of his career where he's got to be a lead. He's a captain of our club and all that bollocks. But I think it's key that he sort of doesn't make it. I know, like you said, it's been a long time since he's done anything stupid. But I don't want this to now be like the beginning of that again.
Yeah. He's not started as great as he this season. He hasn't started great. I don't like to say it about Dunk because I love Dunk, but no, he hasn't started that well. I think he's been a bit rocky.
But do you think that's down to he's got Ben White come in, obviously just getting used to playing with him? You can't really put it down to formation, but do you think it's maybe just a change of personnel?
Duffy's out in here as well. He's got two
potentially, but he started yesterday with Webster and Byrne, who is exactly who he's starting with all year last year. So there isn't that excuse, I don't think, and. Maybe White, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's just been a bit off it. I don't know why he's been off it because before we were all calling him for England, and rightfully so. He has been fantastic. But at the beginning of this season, he's just not looked anywhere on the level he was last year.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the England call up because in one of my group chats, one of my mates goes, "Oh, all your players do is just get sent off and give away penalties." Obviously, referring to Lamptey and Dunk. So, just on that, obviously with the England stuff, I mean, it doesn't help their cases, does it? I mean, Gareth Southgate hates them already. So, not hates them, maybe Lamptey, but he definitely hates Dunk for some reason. That obviously? Do you think that will have a big impact on I know it's only one red card, just one incident, but do you reckon Southgate will look at that and be like, "What's going on here?"
I don't know. I don't think it would because England's recent run, they're getting sending off for fun, aren't they? Was it Reece James and Maguire got sent off in the previous game? So maybe if it happened a couple of years ago when we had might get sent off every week, it might be a comparison, but I don't think they have any legs to stand on. Not bringing Dunk in for a red card.
I can't argue with that. To be fair, I
don't want to bring up non-Brighton players in this, but Maguire recently, I don't get how does he still get in the England team? They talk about his mental health and all this stuff, but like any other player, he's dropped. Mm-hmm. And I don't get why there seems to be a premium on Maguire. Like, oh yeah, but we've got to care about him. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we shouldn't care about players, but why does he seem to get that sort of love and support and attention from everyone? It's just because he's the most expensive player and he's English? I don't know.
Man United captain as well, I think.
Man United captain, maybe media bias.
I think there's... No, 100%. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think there's a big bias around English players, and especially especially the ones with expensive price tags. It's like people have got to try and justify why.
But look at Sterling. Sterling got rinsed by the English media when he went to City. And like a lot of our youngsters got rinsed, and for some reason Maguire just seems to get loved by everyone in the media, and it doesn't take. I mean, most United fans that I know will say he's no good, and I don't get how Southgate still calls him up, because even if we're not looking at Dunk, there's so many other options there. And
things change very quickly. It's like you said, Sterling was getting so much hate from the press, and then now he's the golden boy, which he should be because he's bloody brilliant. So things will change, I think.
But this is the thing. Like for me, I think it's a very good point Ryan makes is the fact that why like for example Maguire gets that sort of that special treatment, whereas you look at the likes of Pogba, Lukaku, all these other players that I'm not saying it could be down to a race thing or whether it's race or nationality. I'm not saying that, but there seems to be a very clear sort of division between those two things where they get sort of a lot of criticism, whereas let's say for example the likes of Maguire don't. So that for me it's just a bit of a weird one, and it's just a strange, it's a sad situation to be honest. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's go back to Brighton.
Going back to
because
Dunk.
this is a Brighton pod.
Who's going to be captain?
Go on, Ben.
Who's going to be captain whilst Dunk's away? Do we think Matty Ryan,
Next game?
Lallana?
Lallana will take it. Probably.
Yeah, I think Lallana.
Lallana was quality against Palace, to be fair.
Yeah, let's talk about Lallana. Let's talk about Lallana actually. So yeah, you mentioned he had a good game yesterday. That was really encouraging, obviously from our point of view, to see him. Get was it? He played like 70 minutes. 70.
Yeah, he's shown his class, and he's shown that he can now start playing longer as well. I think he lasted about 80 minutes or so. And he just looks so cool on the ball. He sort of just organises that midfield. I think if we were there, because it's when you're watching it on telly, you can't tell as much. But if we were there, and I'd probably watch Lallana a little bit more just to see probably off the ball what he does, and he's sort of pointing around, telling people what to do. And I think if we were there, we could see that, and it would just be like, yeah, he looks good. And I think maybe obviously we signed Danny Welbeck. Maybe he can just be a little bit like, okay, he hasn't had probably the career that Lallana has, but he's still got that experience. He's been capped 40 plus times by England. He was at United, he was at Arsenal. If we can get him anywhere near, because he's only 29, he's not it's not like we've signed him and he's like 40. He's only 29. He's still, he's still relatively quick. He's good in the air. He's athletic. If we can keep him fit, and I mean that, hopefully we can keep him fit. I can genuinely see him being a decent signing for us. And I know Watford fans probably laugh in my face because he wasn't very good there. But, I mean, I just think he's another option, isn't he? And even if he lasts 10 minutes every game, it's still 10 minutes that we didn't have from anyone else.
I think my opinion on Welbeck's been quite clear on social media and within our group. I'm not the biggest fan of the signing. Now, a couple of reasons for that is because, at Watford, for me, he didn't show me anything like to warrant being good enough. And then the second point is the fact that he's still I don't know how to explain this. I just don't feel like in terms of what does he actually add to the team? I know physically he does. He adds that different, but what does he provide? Does he provide you goals? Does he provide you assists? He's
more of a more mobile Glenn Murray, isn't he? Which is sort of what we say.
He's definitely more of a poacher for sure.
Yeah, he'll be in around that. He's good positioning. He's good at sort of being up there, and I think he's in the air as well. He's very strong in the air, and that's what we haven't had.
Yeah,
we've got a very small front line, so he's got that sort of advantage in the air. So if the cross goes in, Mope's going to miss it every time, but Danny Welbeck's going to be up there, and even if he doesn't score, he's hit the post, or he's got us a corner. You know what I mean? So it's just another option, in my opinion.
But is that what you want from your striker? Winning you corners and
no, but post? I mean, look, I'm trying to be positive, but I mean,
I get that. No, I'm not trying to be negative myself, but
no.
That's just my view on the transfer.
The way I'm saying it is he's another option. I'm not saying he's going to be our next Glenn Murray. I'm just saying he's up there. He's another player we've got. And if he scores goals, he scores goals. If he doesn't, okay. But it's only 1 year we've got him on anyway. So it's a relatively low risk.
It's a different dynamic. It's a different dynamic that we need.
Exactly. Yeah.
No. That I completely agree with you, boys. To be fair, the more I think about it, the sort of more I'm warming to the idea. But but I think the big point you made was it's only a year contract, so that's how I see it. Yeah. It's like it is a no risk really. So if he flops for a season, we've not really,
exactly. And if he does well, we sign him again for another year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's got something to play for as well, then, hasn't he? Because now he's only just got 1 year. It's not like we gave him 3 years and he can take it easy. He's got 1 year to prove himself again in the Premier League. Otherwise, he might be playing in League One in Rochdale or something like that. Salford City, he'll be playing for Paul Scholes and Gary Neville at Salford, probably.
Salford, yeah. No. I mean, to be fair, boys, you've pretty much converted me within the space of 3 minutes. So, I
love his celebration. I've always loved his little arm celebration.
That guy Wells.
You know this one?
Oh yeah,
the little...
And you can't see it because our camera's
was it Didier Drogba who's the originator?
Yeah, Drogba as well. Yeah,
Drogba.
Yeah, big Drogs.
What a player he was.
What a guy he was. But yeah, that was a little bit on obviously Danny Welbeck.
That guy Wells.
So yeah, just to put a bit of context, if someone's been living under a rock, we have signed Danny Welbeck on a 1 year contract as a free agent. So yeah, that was big news for us. And like the boys have mentioned, it is, I suppose it does give us options going up top. Which is what we definitely need, considering we can't hit a barn door at the best of times.
With a bad
so fingers crossed he can do it for us. But just quickly going back to the game, there was a point I did want to sort of talk about. Of course, we had Mitchell and Lamptey. So obviously Mitchell playing on the left back and Lamptey on the right back, or right wing back even. That for me was a really, really interesting battle, because like even I think it was like 5 minutes in, I think like Tariq like gassed him, and then Mitchell just came back and tackled him, and I was like, okay, we've got a battle.
Yeah, it was a decent battle.
Like, that was like, that was like 5 minutes in. So for me, first of all, who do you think came out on top? And was it as good of a battle as I thought it was?
Do you want me to be honest?
Go on,
Mitchell.
Yeah,
I think Lamptey didn't have much of a say yesterday.
No, I agree. I think
he wasn't.
He wasn't up to his best yesterday.
No.
And it frustrated me because I was actually, it was a frustrating performance for him because we know he's capable of so much more. And I think that's what sort of frustrated me the most was,
Sorry, Maz. I was thinking that against a not so pacey team like Palace, they've got no pace at the back and in midfield, and I just thought that was the perfect one for Lamptey to just rinse them, and that's how he did to Newcastle. I just thought it was the one where Lamptey puts it on, and he just didn't.
They were just sat. They were sat so deep, though, weren't they? So like he wasn't really be able to. Yeah, he didn't have any room to break behind because they were sat so deep constantly. He had a few glimpses of brilliance in the first half, but I think second half there was a lot less to show for it. Yeah, they were just sat so deep, and like you said, Ryan, I think Mitchell did come on top because he was the only one that had to defend the whole game. I don't think other than giving away a penalty, Lamptey didn't really have to do much else.
But this is now you might call me crazy, boys, all right? But I think if Potter had put Lamptey on the left and get him at Joel Ward, I think he could have caused him all sorts of problems. Because the reason I say that, you look at Joel Ward for the goal. Yeah. You know that he absolutely fluffed the clearance, and McAllister banged it in. Well, Connolly sort of flicked it on, but he didn't have the best of games, Joel Ward, and he's not the paciest by any means. So could have Potter. I know this sounds crazy because March isn't really a right wing back.
The trouble with that is you can't really put a right-footed right back on in left back because it doesn't really work. Because once he's beaten his man, he's not so good with his left, so he's got to get that ball in, and then he's got to come back across, and then that's when the guy's caught up with him anyway. Yeah, so
I was just
maybe on
for the
FIFA,
battle.
that would have been
maybe not.
I think that's what I was thinking about.
Well, do you remember when Theo Walcott was against? We had like Mo Salah, Theo Walcott were both like against. Last season it was when Dan Burn was playing left wing back. You thought that Dan Burn's going to have a stinker. Mo Salah's going to run past him every time. They can deal with him, but obviously,
that's true.
Dan Burn's miles better than Joe Ward. So.
Yeah. No, that's very true. Like, don't get me wrong, pace is not everything. I'm not saying if you put Lamptey on the left, he'll outpace Ward and that's it. Of course, that's not the case at all. But I just think it would have been interesting to see us utilise Lamptey's pace against maybe a slower player. Yeah. But then that goes the same with Palace. Like, I was really surprised we didn't see Eze. Eze could have caused us all sorts of problems. And I was bigging him up last.
Yeah, the last episode you loved him up. You're bigging him up.
Yeah. So I was gutted. I'll be honest. I was gutted that he didn't come on, which is very weird to say considering he probably could have caused damage.
I'm not on that one.
But no, but as a football fan, I love seeing him play. Like, he excites me. He takes players on. Like, I've said it all this in the last pod, but isn't he? Wow, that's a big statement. That could bite you in the arse, but I don't know.
No, but it's true. I just don't think Palace play that football. And Roy said yesterday that he was happy with how they played. He was happy with how they played, and his whole thing is he wanted to go there. He wanted to defend. He wanted to just hold this out. That's all he cared about yesterday. And I think he's not going to get the best out of someone like Eze. That's just my opinion. He might go and prove me wrong. But I don't think it's going to happen.
It's a shame we don't have Dan on.
In charge, Eze isn't going to flourish.
I was going to say it's a shame we don't have Dan on because I would love to hear what a Palace fan would say. Like, would they be happy with their team playing like that 100%. Against, like, setting up in a derby? Like, you think, right, fans are going to be getting excited. Let's go for it. Beat Brighton. But if I was a Palace fan, I'd be disappointed.
No, 100%. I saw a lot of fans, including Dan, moaning about Hodgson and the way he's set up and everything like that. So no, it's a real shame we didn't have Dan on the pod. But yeah, for the reverse fixture, we're going to get him on for sure. So yeah, make sure you're obviously tuning in every week to make sure we're going to be bringing more guests as well. We're going to be getting Andy Naylor on soon as well. So yeah, we're going to be having lots and lots of exciting guests. But yeah, unfortunately today it's just us. It's just us three. So just final thing on this, on this sort of rounding up the game then. Just quickly, just a little brief bit from each of you. So starting off with Ben, was it a good result? A 1-1 draw, and was there any areas that we could have maybe improved on, or
areas to improve on? Yes, scoring 19 goals, taking all our chances. I've said it to Ryan off air. It's so weird. Like, they had one shot, we had 19. That's such a mad stat. But for some reason, a draw felt like the fair result, even though we dominated them so heavily. Like, I think a draw was a fair result. I don't think we didn't have the cutting edge to win it. We didn't have the cutting edge.
That is true. We didn't actually. I agree with you. A draw is a fair result because, like you said, we didn't actually clear cut chances. We didn't, apart from the Mopai one. You could argue. Apart from that, we didn't really create any clear cut chances. So yeah, maybe in hindsight, a 1-1 draw was a fair result.
Which is
what about you, Ryan? Finally, just to wrap it up.
Yeah, I said to Ben as well. I was saying it yesterday when it was 1-0, and I was just saying we haven't deserved. We deserved more than what we got, but we didn't deserve to win at the same time because Palace was so well organised, and we weren't taking advantage of them at all. We just played to their strengths. They just parked the bus, and their fans would admit it. They parked the bus, they held it out. Okay, they messed up at the end, but they would still take it because they just played complete anti-football yesterday. And it was just, we couldn't counteract it. And to be honest, you don't deserve to win games. If you can't score with 19 shots, you don't deserve to win.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Once we start taking our chances, okay, we deserve to win. If Mope at least got that shot on target when he's 1-on-1, okay, we deserve to win. But he couldn't even get a good shot off. So we didn't deserve to win because we can't score goals. When we start scoring goals, we deserve to win games.
Very well rounded up, Ryan. I think we all agree with that. Yeah. So yeah, Brighton, if any of you players are listening, score more goals.
Yeah, Neil, please, mate, come on.
Come on,
Neil.
Oh, Neil.
Right. So looking forward then, our next game is against West Brom. Now we sort of briefly have touched on this, and Ben, I think it was, Ben gave us a bit of a statement, Ben. So do you want to elaborate on that a little bit? We should be beating teams like West Brom, I think your direct quote was.
Yeah, well.
So elaborate on that, please, mate.
Well, I think in the context of the conversation, we were talking about how our performances aren't paying off against these teams. Now, like you said, Palace is a tough game. Everton was a tough game. Chelsea, Man United were tough as well. Newcastle, we spanked them 3-0 away. Hopefully, it'll be the same against the Baggies. Hopefully, we'll be able to beat a team that is considerably worse than us. Is that fair to say?
On paper.
On paper, yeah. I think we should be. If we don't beat them, then it will be. Yeah. If we don't beat them, then it's going to be quite worrying. If we don't beat them.
I think that statement there is, for me, what sort of sums it up is if we don't beat a team that is going to, let's be frank, they're going to be down at the bottom towards the end of the season or bottom half. If we don't beat a team like that, then we are in serious trouble.
We'll be with them.
I think that's the bottom line. I think, like, as much as we don't want to jinx it or, you know, whatever you want to call it, I think that's the bottom line. If we're not beating West Brom, we are in big trouble. I think that's just perfectly frank. How about you, Ryan? You're very, very. You're unusually quiet, mate, about this.
I'll agree with what you're saying. Like, we should be beating them, but again, it's football. We don't know what's going to happen because this is the amount of times that the underdog goes and beats the favourite. It's ridiculous, and yeah, we should be beating them, but I don't know much about West Brom, to be honest. I don't know how they're going to set up. I haven't done much research on them, but yeah, they haven't looked good, and we need to start. We need some points. We need some points on the board desperately.
No, 100%. I mean, one player for me that stands out, of course, is two players actually. Going forward is Pereira and Diane Garner, who they've just signed from West Ham. like going forward, they look like exciting players. They can do a bit of damage. And then defensively, like for me personally, I watched West Brom. I can't remember who it was against. It was a game live on Sky, and I watched it a couple of weeks ago.
Everton, was it?
And I think it might have been, yeah. But it was the centre half. I believe his name's Ajayi. I believe it is. Yeah, Semi Ajayi. Yeah. And he was Clark. Like he looked really good. He looked really comfortable on the ball. Really good air, like in the air. He really impressed me. So I mean, they've got some good players. Yeah. It's not like they're across the board they're just shit. It's not. I don't think that's.
They've also just bought an absolute rapid striker in. Was it Carlin Grant from Huddersfield? They did. They bought him. He's rapid. So that front three of West Brom, if they all start, that's rapid.
That's very true actually. So now that you've said that, no, it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be an easy game at all. It'll be a very tough game.
Bilic is a great manager. I don't know. Some people don't rate him, but I think he's a great manager.
I mean,
he did all right. He did well for West Ham before he sort of fell off. He fell off. He did well. He did well for them. He got them to Europa League, didn't he? And then it sort of fell apart from there.
Yeah, Dimmy Pyatt left, didn't he? That was the whole situation that spoiled it for him, I think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, that's the thing with Slaven. He is a good manager, but it's just I don't know. It just feels like he's never like he'll never get to that top sort of end of your high quality manager. He's very. I'd say Potter's. I personally think Potter's miles ahead of him. Yeah. If you do like a side by side sort of,
we're miles ahead of a lot of people side by side, but we just can't seem to translate that to results because I say it all the time. I try and be so positive like all the time, and I'm trying to be positive again. And I look at our team. We should be winning. We've got a manager who's okay. He's still young. He's still very young. Like Potter, the way he plays, the way his brain works, I can't even begin to imagine what goes through his mind on a match day. Because if professional managers can't deal with what he deals with, God knows. But we've got such a good manager in him, and he's got so much potential, honestly. And I've seen it been tipped for the England game.
Manager, he's second favourite, I think, or third. Yeah, second or third favourite to England manager. Yeah. Yeah. But it was funny you mentioned Potter because I remember, I don't know if you boys, you must have saw it as well. I think it was like around the 83rd minute, something like that. And he just pans to him and he's just there like, I think it'll be like Mr. Charles or something. And he's just there like, what do I have to do? Like, what do I actually have to do?
That's what I was saying on Palace. It's not his fault. Like, it's actually not his fault because we're playing the perfect football. Our football was so nice. We're tackling it around. We're doing really well, all in midfield. But it's not his fault that Mopé missed that. Yeah. It's not his fault that Mopé didn't square it. It's not his fault that the strikers just can't seem to literally hit a goal, even if we would play for 120 minutes. So it's not his fault. It's not his fault. And that's the most frustrating thing because we just can't take chances, and it's just something that seems to be going on and on and on. And that's been going on since last season. We were saying this. Yeah. I remember having this exact conversation after I think it was West Ham at home, which was one of Potter's first games, and I think it was Southampton as well. I think we lost 2-0 to Southampton last season at home, and we absolutely dominated them. We were pressing them all game. They hit us on 2 counter-attacks to score both of them, and that's why But that's why they're where they are, and that's why where we are. I mean, realistically, we should be up there with right up there, but we're not because we can't score goals.
And you talk about not scoring goals, but also we're actually leaking quite a few goals as well. It's not like we always I always talk about how good our defence is, but we're also leaking a lot of goals. So we mentioned the front three for West Brom, so potentially Carlin Grant, Pereira, and Diagana as a front three. Now them coming at us is a bit worrying. Now we think about our defensively. What do you start with you, Ben? What do you think? How do you think we're going to cope? Obviously, without Dunk in the team now as well. Yeah. How do you think we're going to cope with West Brom in that game?
Well, I think we're safe to say Lamptey will be okay. March has got a bit of pace about him, but then what we think in the left centre back is going to be? Are we going to have Dan Burn filling in for Dunky? Do you reckon?
Yeah. We had the back three of.
That's assuming that we go back with the back five again. If that I'm assuming. But then, we will.
Okay. But I'd put Veltman
as well.
Yeah, I'd put Veltman instead of Dunky, and then just have the same three. So Burn, Veltman, and Webster as the back three.
I'll put
back.
Veltman on the right, and I'll put White in the middle.
Yeah,
personally, that's what I'll do, because White played in the middle for Leeds, and he was class. Yeah. And Veltman's always been a right-sided, so I'd put him on the right. Webster on the left, because he's best with his left. Well, better with his left out of a lot of them.
Don't start.
He wasn't that good actually. Yeah, so take Burn out. Yeah, then put Lamptey and March on either side.
Go back to the question though. Yeah, West Brom. I reckon that pacey front three, or at least even if it's just the two wingers, that they'll cause us some trouble. Hopefully, we can control the game so that doesn't happen. Fingers crossed. And it's at 5:30 on a Monday, and it's box office. So 5:30 on a Monday. Like, how is that?
Less said about box office, Ben. Please.
I put a poll out about that yesterday. I think it was. I just put, "Will you be paying pay-per-view?" I think it's got about 500 votes on my Twitter. I think 94% have said no.
Nice.
So
yeah, if you could leave links to your streams in the comments below, that'd be great.
I mean, we do not endorse illegal streaming. We do not endorse illegal streaming.
Skybox office streamer, man. Obviously, you can.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But on the old side, let us know. Yeah. Wink, wink. All right, cool. Well, I think that pretty much sums it all up. And so in summary, just to sort of wrap up, I think it was a frustrating afternoon yesterday for the Palace game. And like we sort of touched on, I think it was one of those games where we didn't deserve to win. And of course, we didn't deserve to lose. So, like we've said many times, it was what it was, or it is what it is. So it was just one of those. And of course, West Brom coming up. It's going to be a difficult game, and we'll see how it all goes. So, of course, as always, thank you very much for tuning in. And if you're watching as well, really, really appreciate all your support. And of course, follow us up on all our socials. So that's Seagulls Social on Instagram and Twitter. And hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.